When I signed my deal, I felt pressure. Don't wanna see the numbers, I wanna see heaven. You say, could you write a song for me? I say, I'm sorry about you that I believe. When I go.
Hello guys, this is Anime Wizard 101 and I'm here with chapter 11 of Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic review. And before we start, I just want to wish you guys a happy new year and stay safe. So now back to the actual review. So last time we ended off chapter 10 with what seemed to be that Aladdin and Alibaba actually reached the treasure room, because they reached a room, not a room but a door that's humongous, and it had the same marking as the flute that Aladdin has. And the actual chapter actually begins with the group of Lord Jamil and Golchis, and they're battling off the slime monsters that Aladdin and Alibaba had fought before. And then Morgiana just joins them and tells them that Alibaba got away. Aladdin got away, and that Alibaba is actually still alive. And then he's thinking that Alibaba actually tricked him. And then we go to a flashback, and then we see that the way that Alibaba actually survived was that there was spikes in the bottom of the pit, but he leaned to a side, and he was able to dodge the spikes. And then what happened is that he followed that pathway, and that's how he found the door. And that's where we go back to where Aladdin and Alibaba are. And then Aladdin kind of like recognizes the door and the marking. So he actually knows how to open it, and what he says is he puts his hands like on the door, and then he recites "Open Sesame," and then we see the little bright little birds pop out, and he says "Open Sesame," and then the door opens, and Alibaba and Aladdin walk right in, but there's nothing there. It's like all like, I don't want to say like, what is it, foggy, I guess. And then once it clears up, they see that there's actually some kind of like huge city, like ancient city, and you guys can see how it looks. It's right there, the 2-page spread. It's humongous, it's majestical, it's like in a big ass room. And then pretty much after that, they start to go on like a city expedition to try to find a treasure room, because it has to be there, right? So that's what they're searching. They're searching for the treasure room. And then after that, we go back to where Lord Jamil, Morgiana, and Golchis are at. And then Lord Jamil starts beating up Morgiana because he tells her that this is your fault, that I got tricked and all this stuff, and you let him get away. And they had already covered the other two sides. So pretty much what happened is that they cleared the dead end where they went first, and then they went to the other path. They went through all three paths, since it was 3. And then pretty much they're still fighting the slime and stuff. And after that, we go back to Aladdin and Alibaba, and then they're pretty much saying how they're gonna name, or pretty much this is pretty much just Alibaba talking. He's telling Aladdin how he's gonna name this city Aladdin and Alibaba Park, because they're the first ones that made it here, and they discovered the city inside of the dungeon, and they're gonna be, Alibaba himself is gonna be the mayor, and Aladdin is gonna be the vice mayor. So they're just having a blast, and then Alibaba tells Aladdin that he's gonna ask the what's it called, the djinn for help once they find it, to actually be able to they're gonna ask for his help to get Aladdin's flute back. And then Alibaba tells him if he recognizes anything around, and then he's like, no, not really. It was like he says that pretty much where him and Ugo were being kept at or held at, it was really cramped. And then he says that Ugo told him that that there was something like a city outside where they were at, and that it was called something like a necropolis. And then it was like, he said it was like a city of the dead or something like that. And but they're pretty much making a speculation that it's pretty much the same thing in that dungeon as the dungeon that Ugo and Aladdin were at. And then pretty much Alibaba tells Aladdin that he wants to meet Ugo and talk to him, and he wants to know more information about Aladdin himself. And then they go to some, I want to say, a door. They reach a door. I guess they go to like the middle of the city where like the big tree was, and then there was like a building on the bottom. And they finally reach it, and then they open the door, and all they find is like pods and stuff. I don't know, but that's like actually how the chapter ends. And I would rate this chapter, I want to say I would rate it like out of a 5, I want to say like a 4. If you guys like the review, give me a thumbs up. Leave your comment down below. I don't have a chapter question for this chapter, but happy holidays, and I'll see you guys with chapter 12. And subscribe like always, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, you guys.